Lion that clever ability, oh, that clever ability, I see that clever ability.
Oh, what a beautiful day here this evening. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners. This is a serious assignment. There we go. Good evening to Madam Mamin Esther Tapimo. Good afternoon. Thank you so much. Your commitment to this network is just unbelievable. But it's not a surprise because you believe in us and you believe in your country. Welcome, Otaka Kobo. Peewit, please, we say good evening. If I don't call your name the right way, just forgive me. Sometimes it becomes difficult. I am Alfonso Zienso right here behind the microphone. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for your commitment. Please hit the share button in the possible way you can to invite someone at your company. This is a song from the southeastern south of the Republic of Liberia, Graham Gidet, and by gospel artist Alan Brown. You know when a crewman or crewman say just so you know what it means, right? The Holy Ghost has entered my house. Welcome, Stelmos Kumar. Thank you so much for jumping in right here this evening. Just hit the share button the possible you can. Just to invite someone at our company to join you. And this is how we want to hit the program on your best evening. Right here, it's Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio. Good evening. And the Liberal Progressive, oh man, they pay on this network. And they gotta say no babu for a child. But he's a very good guy. We'll try to provoke and evoke the holiness here this evening, wherever you are. We need prayer for that country. We need to pray and fast. I'm not saying when you're praying, you open your eye to see who passing. Pray, close your eyes. The men in the town has arrived. The folks in the town, they has arrived, and they are on the Liberia Public Radio. And welcome, Madam Comfort Abu, as a wife of legendary General Thai journalist Abu Kamara. Good evening. Welcome to the show. We need a cause for fast and prayer for that country. That's it right there. God, everything has time, and there is a fullness of time of everything we do in our daily lives. We say good afternoon, good evening, welcome to the show. This is Wednesday editions of All Things Considered. Patient here, thank you so much for jumping in. You just right in time. It's never late. Of course, I knew, my God, my man, Mr. Fred Dennis Namwe, we're going to jump in as long as LPR is here. These are my people, and the Liberal try to tap into them to steal their joy from me. That's not going to happen. Liberal will ever be liberal. And that's what I do. Folks, we want to welcome you in today's editions of All Things Considered. I am your host, your anchor, Alfonso Zienso. And the rest of the panelists will be here in a short while. But for those of you that are here, just do me a favor. Hit that share button. Let it go explosive. And let Mike Zuckerberg tell you, say, stop sharing it. We have enough of it. Welcome to the show. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning if you are in Liberia. I am your host, your presenter, Afonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio, right here from the New England Bureau Desk. What a beautiful weather here this evening. And I'm sure you are doing great as well. 201 days to go to occupy this building. I want to just a short call that I can just go and by the time people wake up the next morning and say election finished, I can take my man Nambe, be my first vice president, Mamin Tapimo, second vice president, Comfortable, third vice president. Then all these million political parties are just put to a rest. And I can tell you with these folks, the only person that will not be in my cabinet is the Liberal. The Liberal progressive will not get within the proximity of the mansion when I'm there. I'm going to assign him to go fix the Grand Jide toll town road going to my own border town. That's his area of expertise. Don't give him administrative position. Then you nyaka me you spoil a Creole message, then you don't pour it all. Good evening, folks. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. We want to thank you so much for your commitment to this network. This cannot be overemphasized. It is extremely important. Your commitment to this network just beat the imaginations of ordinary persons. And that's what is important. Commitment in anything, things that we do on a daily basis. That itself, it gives us the spirit, the intuitions. I don't care how tired we are. We just have to keep it honest. We don't have to say things to entice people before they come to watch or to see and make up all sort of creative say mix up, bust up story. We don't have to do that. SB, good evening. Good to have you here this evening. We are waiting for us to interface on the cyber night one of these days. But I do know that one of these days is better late than never. Good evening. Welcome to the show. So we'll try as much as possible. Information that we have is what we share. We are not going to manufacture something overnight simply because we want someone to be part of what we are doing. No. There is a thing to say quality is better than quantity. So if the choices were put before you and they ask you to pick quality and quantity, where will you go? I can make a decision for you because you are adult. Oh, okay, Fred. Empire State. I hope you are not one of those guys. I know you very well because Donald Trump, the guy, any message you may go through, you tell your people then to go, you're afraid they come here arrested. Oh, you break the law. You're afraid to go beyond the bars? Oh, no. When you break no one is above the speed limit in this country here. That's the good thing. That's the good thing. We say good evening. Hey, says Omant, good morning from your end. Thank you so much for coming. So it's about Liberia. 201 days to go. For the people of the West African state of the Republic of Liberia to make a lifelong decision to occupy this official residence of the presidency of the Republic of Liberia. Mr. Guetta, Mr. Tatit, thank you so much for joining us here. Like the other folks, hit the share button. Here come Madam Krengat, thank you so much. Hit the share button, invite someone at your company. The resilience of our viewers, our followers, nothing is comparable. Coming in, Didi Wilson Bali from the brother state of Philadelphia. Thank you so much for joining us. You know, the good thing is we will talk some things that doesn't favor your political side, your candidate, or someone that you so admire, dearly support. But guess what? You don't take it personal. That's our views, that's our opinions, and some of them you see the authenticity in it. But you don't get mad, you don't throw tantrum like the other folks. Oh, I went down there today, the way they talk about my Kennedy, and I'm going back there. That's not who you are. And we don't want you to be that way. Sometimes out of plenty things, you listen for the positive signals. Anyone who say yes, say everything yes, yes, that is, it doesn't last. You always want to hear critical voices. Not critical in the sense that is demeaning to disrespectful, but to see it from different angle, different perspective about the how society works. And guess what? You don't walk away. You still come back here and we have these conversations. Trust me, our followers, the resilience, the strength, the zeal, the love of their country. If our politicians are all like that and just be a little bit listener and not be so reactionary, trust me, the country will be good. But we do strongly have a conviction in you that you have all reason to support who you support. That we cannot put you on the firing squad, literally for that. But the main thing is to encourage your ability to contain and be able to engage is something that we really, really appreciate on this network. And so we will not manufacture whatever news break, whatever news that people break on a minute, a second. Well, yeah, they can break whatever they want to break. That's not our style. There are some things we have we keep it to our chest because you want to make sure those informations are verified. Not just from one, not from two, at most 3 sources. Must have that sort of connection, so they must collaborate before you put it out there. And then you come on, breaking news. They want to do this. You don't know where they are getting their news from. And that's the danger in the media industry. Because if you are not, if you are reactionary, trust me, you would take someone who is heavily engaged in propaganda. You would take as a real-time news. That's not it. Someone who is which as subliminal messages, false news, they appear to be right, but they are not right. It's like an agency or an organization taking the branding of original, right? You know when something comes from JCPenney, for those of you who use some quality things, when you see the real one, you know it from the wrong one. So these are all tactics people deploy when it comes to presidency to try to do, and not that they are doing the wrong thing, but you have to you must be able to have a second thought. Oh my goodness, this night is going to be another night. He's here, the most liberal on this network. Okay, good evening. I got to seize the money log. And let me just bring in the liberal. The liberal progressive of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV, Samson Blocko Branto, host conversation with Samson To. Man from Total. My son, you'll be good at public work minister.
No.
Man, just a break win.
No, good evening, Mr. So. Good evening. Thank you very much for having us again. It's a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank God that we're still here, and thank God that we're able to do this. But if our Ambassador Bakar, not if, but when he wins, I do not intend to work.
They count you out already.
That's fine. That's fine. They can cut me out.
I will see what I caught with John, people who will be saying if about their candidate. He's not even
sure. I said when.
When what?
When Ambassador Bakar becomes the president, the next president of the Republic of Liberia, Ambassador Bakar. However, very quickly, let me say this. The kinds of drum beating and the dancing all that are going on right now, if he doesn't put a clamp to those kinds of tabata that going around here, and then I think some of us gonna have to think twice about his leadership abilities. Now here it comes again. He was tested with Cummings, my opinion, and he flunked that. He didn't do well with Cummings' situation. Now here comes another tabata again, and we're not hearing anything from him. I think that he needs to take control, and he needs to tell the people that he's in control of whatever is happening.
Yeah, where the Tabata coming from? Koto Jala Balayant. Good evening. Welcome. Hey, Mr. Kanto, to Madam Agnes Bablot. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening. Welcome to the show. Koto Tai, good evening. Good afternoon.
Good evening from my end, and I want to say hi to you guys and hi to the people of Liberia. I love you guys. I'm here to discuss the issue of Liberia tonight. Thank you.
Okay. You are here to discuss the issue. Would there be any exception to any issue, or you here to discuss all?
Oh.
And let me warn Mr. Tool right now. The tendency of always forcing with my audience and try to get at them when they are exercising their free speech. Just how you can tell me on this platform, it is none of my business. I should stay out of it. Please, when my callers, when they are expressing their views, their opinions, as long as they are being civil, it is none of your business. You don't need to go.
Mr. So you cannot bring the liberal. No. You can't. This is the liberal you're talking about. You can't bring the liberal on here and trying to say that I'm forced to do some sort of a kumbaya with some of your audience. That's not possible. That's not what I'm here to do, Mr. So. And I want you to understand that even if the audience comes up and try to say something that are not right, we will straighten them up. I'm not here for friendship. I'm here to be truthful. So whoever your audience is, you think you're gonna warn me for me to be afraid of your audience? That's a wrong liberal there back. I'm not one of those Nazi liberals. I'm not one of those New England liberals, people that we cannot depend on. Please, I don't want to go there tonight. So I'm not one of those. I am the true liberal, and I'm here to defend myself, and I'm here to be truthful. So tell your audience if they're gonna come out here and try to say something about my candidate and whatever it is, and if it's not true, I will send it right back to them.
Mr. Jones,
and the good thing about it, we here, we can't say the wrong, we can't keep the wrong, especially for my candidate. When my candidate does wrong, I fire my candidate.
Jones.
Yes, sir.
This guy say about my candidate, he's taking ownership. So he's simply telling other Liberians that now when a candidate become president, he's not president for them. That's why that's how I'm understanding it to be. Venetia, don't do this to me. You love what? Who you say you love? What is he talking about? Are you serious? I love this Mr. To Ome. He is, wow. No bad boy for a child. Wow. What? Finish up, but man, are you serious? Okay. All right, guys. Good evening. Welcome to, let's be a little bit magnanimous here, like Brotman said. Today is what? May week, Wednesday, right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's see here. Let me start with my guy from right here, Ocean State. The mother's children. I love my said the bus. If there's anything emergency right now, the very first person can be an intervention to me is Mr. Mally Jones. So I'm saying, Mr. Liberal, you can look at me whatever way that your eye will stress, that your eye will feel the pain. I don't care. And I know you're going to be throwing something out very, very soon. Trust me and watch. So let me start from home from. I just try to be honest. Okay. Jones Octavius Malley Senior. Good evening. Welcome. So let's see. How is the Wednesday, my dear brother?
Well, the Wednesday is not too bad. Before we go into the closet behind the Wednesday, I just wanted to make one clarification to the liberal. It's like I'm beginning to really understand the labor of this platform. You know, they're the old saying that some people stay hold on to the third man philosophy, traditionalizing our politics. And I'm beginning to feel where the laborer is really coming from. Despite the ugliness of the child, he does not feel that the child should be thrown away with the bathtub. Unlike other laborer, we feel that the child in the bathtub should be thrown away. So I'm beginning to really understand this laborer here, you see. But anyway, we will get into the details of that.
Mr. Mali, good evening. I also, I'm going to quickly come out here now. It seemed to me, I've been on the show now with you a couple of times. It seemed to me that from all your dictions and everything else, which you do well and which I really, really admire, but it seemed to me that you are someone who is a tiller on the line of the Sawyer, the Tipote, and the Dr.
Oh my
Famule. It
goodness.
seems to me that all that big book I think these people must have some sort of a influence on you. Am I right or wrong? Because if so, then I will understand why you continue to use these big dictionary on us here tonight and every time that you come on. So are you one of those progressive who is of the clock? Amos Sawyer wanted to be mayor and then was not successful, and then Dr. Famler, the progressive on the other end, way deep in more than anything else. Are you one of those? Should I call you the progressive of the 70s, son of the progressive of the 70s? Perhaps that would be your name that I will call now.
Uh,
I gotta go to Carter Labor, please. You are taking much time.
Mr. So the show is starting. This is what make the audience come to. You're not gonna cut me off when I'm in the middle of a sentence. I just threw something to your buddy. You just told us here that in terms of emergency, he will be the first to reach you. So I just talked to him. Now you want to divert my question and try to deviate from whatever conversation that I'm trying to have here, Mr. So this is a show where we're here to discuss what is on our mind. We're not here for you to control what comes out of our mouth and what we think and how we think. This is not one of those conservative shows. Please, let's enjoy ourselves. Mr. Mali, please go ahead.
well, my answer would be no for two reasons. The progressive of the 70s, as far I'm concerned, they were in doubt, in doubted. And what I also noticed, they compromise a whole lot of things. So I now consider myself the modern progressive
Oh my
of
goodness.
the 20th century.
Mm,
Yes.
I
So
like that.
I have departed from that group.
Mm,
My perception of politics is different right now.
mm, I like
Yes.
that.
My
I think we're
perception
going
of
to enjoy
politics,
ourselves.
my perception of politics right now is associated with accountability, transparency, and holding people responsible for the outcome of their action.
Okay.
All
Let me
right,
go to
let me give this young man a chance to run his show, but I will come back
Okay, okay,
get into
okay,
your answer later.
okay, liberal.
okay, let's go to let's bring in our princess on this network. So brave to be among us, and we really appreciate that. Every night for that matter. Okay. I'm enjoying you tonight, total man. Are you serious? What if Jerome
Mister
Roberts?
So, I am loved on this show. You know that. You know that.
Yeah, well, how some people can't prove people wrong. Okay, Koto, let me come to you. Good evening and welcome. How is your midweek going? How is the Wednesday?
All right, I want to say thanks to the Almighty God for having me through this day. It's just a beautiful day at my end. I thank God no bad news from my end. And my training issue, I just want to put it forth, is the voter registration and the trend at which it's going. My concern is what I'm raising now, and so that things that should be put in place before it escalates. That's my major concern right now. And another thing is an attack on what do you call him, our representative. I got some information concerning. I just read it that he was attacked today by some unscrupulous Yeke Koluba in the presence of the police. I yet to be corrected, but according to what I read. So
Okay.
those are the issues today I have on my mind, and others that will be coming forth.
All right, so we're going to do it gradually. Now, you already let the cat out of the bed. Today is Wednesday, all things considered. And as we all know, we're going to keep the time proportional. We're going to throw the phone number out there in the sunniest time. So we want to welcome Aliut, Quiet, Jerome, Ophelia, Aloysius, Gayat, and of course, Jeremiah. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for being here. We'll try to throw the number out there today. All things considered, we need to hear from too much going on, to the extent that we do not even have the reservoir to consider anything now. They all being outgoing out now. So, the liberal,
Yes.
let's look into your political diary this evening. What are you hearing? What is the burning issue? What do you wish to talk about here on your own plate today?
Thank you, Mr. So. First, I again want to thank God, but I also want to thank Kotu. I think she has started some sort of a trend here on LPR. I think every other major news outlet or platform, everyone is going back to their dialect now to try to encourage people to register and vote. I think, and we should give her credit because I believe she started this thing long before the voter registration process started. And I want to take my hat on to her for not even thinking twice and then decided to do that. People are fathering, and I appreciate that. However, Mr. So, I brought in some issue yesterday that have to do with the CIA and the president invitation issues. And I think it is making a serious round in the Liberian community, in the diaspora, and even back home. And I will hope, usually in these kinds of situations, you don't see those that are involved, including the CIA, and they don't make comments. But the issue here is that he's not just an ordinary person. He's the president of the Republic of Liberia. And if this rumor is all swollen all over the place here, and people are now improvising, bringing in some stories that are so far-fetched. However, I will ask this administration of Dr. Weah administration to do us a favor. You don't have to divulge all of the information that you think that are unnecessary. I mean, if it has to do with the national security of the Republic of Liberia, by all means, please keep it secret. However, if you were involved in this type of invitation by CIA and whatever it is, I would ask that somebody please come out and disabuse us, because the people are taking it to a different extent. And if they don't, most likely, it's going to be embarrassing for the president, because when he sits among his peers in the African presidential realm, or whatever you want to call it, that he might be looked at upon as someone who perhaps not to be trusted. Because CIA, we know what CIA is, especially the United States CIA. So for the president, a sitting president, if this rumor is true, that he was invited, let him tell us, even if it's me, you can come and say, it's a national secret. Yes, I met with them, but it have to do with our national secret, and we don't want to discuss it. but at least that would give us some sort of a satisfaction that yes, he is seeking the interest of the Liberian people. And that also will boast well for him once he sits among other West African leaders and decide to talk things that have to do with national security or say regional security. Because if that is not done, and you go into a presidential gathering where other presidents from other states decide to talk regional security, they will definitely be careful with you and not divulge all of the information that perhaps will be necessary for you to make some serious decision that would affect your country, Republic of Liberia. So I think this is a very serious matter, and I think the president need to do us a favor and try to disabuse on this, Mr. So it's a very serious stuff.
You finish?
Mr. So,
when they invite the president to the CIA, that you're business?
Oh, you honor call this show. Are you asking that kind of question?
That's not your business.
Yeah, but when I said that yesterday, because I'm an admirer of Ambassador. Are you an admirer of CDC? Oh,
I said the president of the Republic of Liberia.
Boy, I'm a business. You honor call this show.
Why are you going out of breath here even because somebody going to CIA? Man, fun play to sit down, man. Where y'all have been put your problem?
Jesus. Jesus. This is the oh my goodness. The host of Freedom Watch, where the freedom reigns. He's telling me that my opinion don't count and I should find place to sit down. We Liberian people will further trouble. My goodness, Freedom Watch host. Is that what you just told us? That my opinion on the national security issue of the Republic of Liberia has no bearing whatsoever on this show. Thank you, and I got your point.
We don't have the insurance. When your cholesterol and your blood pressure go over the roof, you're on your own. Okay, let's have a conversation here. Those are very legitimate, and I managed to talk to one to a few people today, but those informations yet to be authenticated and to be verified. We are still working on that. Jones Malice, let me just bring you. What is in your playbook? What are you considering?
What is in my playbook? If it is of national interest tonight, it's far from the liberal. It's far from the issue that actually worrying the liberal right now. I strongly believe that we are poised to have either the incumbent coming back or have a new set of wonderful, good Liberian taking over from His Excellency George Weah. So I have been concerned about two things in my cover this evening. One, I've been thinking about the issue of self-sufficiency. Looking at it from, self-sufficiency, agriculture. Looking at it from a very different dimension right now. Not the dimension of the former VP era, no.
Oh boy.
Then I'm also looking at the issue of the executive summary of the U.S. Human Rights Report. And you read that report, you will now ask the question why His Excellency, if it is true, he's invited by the CIA. You will now ask no question. Because according to my statistics, I read this report more than 5 times. About 36 pages summary. And it has in their credible report. That means they have evidence that can even be presented in court. And out of my own summary, I've come to realize that there are 96 different human rights violations that have taken place under George Weah from 2022 up to now. And out of that 96 elements of gross human rights abuse, 13 are associated with different type of killings. So if George Weah is invited, this report will not be surprised to me. I yield.
Okay, wow. What a lot of conversation here this evening. And we'll try to allot time to make sure that our viewers are also forming part of that. Of course, and we had this conversation yesterday. It's sort of weird situation, very strange situation that has not happened for a very long period of time. If these news information emerging from different news outlet, with respect to the president visit, and this is why it's not good for you to be noted of something. Now, the apprehensions is at the highest height in that usually when the president travels, we see a lot of images, pictures, and they exhibit those pictures to give progress is being made. One of the tweets on Kalasco, something that was a strange one. I will try to go back there to be very precise on what he posted. Maybe if you go on his page yet, if it is still there. But I don't want to be conclusive in terms of the president is invited and I should give it a sort of connotation to which should be here. But I was looking at a couple of things in Guinea, Senegal, Sudan, Burkina Faso. The Russians have been very successful in taking over those places for now, for what we see, for what we know. Military coup and all of that. A lot of things happening in the southwest regions and its neighbors. So, and it would be danger. It would be a dangerous situation. American interest would be at jeopardy, considering what we see unfolding, what went on, Guinea, the Burkina Faso, the sort of instability with a lot of these uprising militaries and other. The infiltrations of the Russians. They are expanding, trying to build something. I'm wondering here, is that something concerning? The drugs, the $1 million drugs. I was told this evening, and I tried to kind of like write that the original delegations of the president after the visit to the embassy was downsized. How true is that information? Yet to be verified, which is very unusual. And you look at the compositions of the president's delegates as well; those are high-profile government officials. So, what is the rationale? But I'm not sure. When we had a conversation as to whether both governments going to speak on that, or perhaps at the end of the day there might be some sort of joint communique, or there might be some sort of statement. For sure, it's just not going to go like that. We will know. So we'll give it a chance. I mean, they are not noted of speaking out. So I'm not going to be the one to start burning with ink if they don't do it. So why? It have never happened in the past. So why should it happen now? Another thing is our own guy, Kai Gerald, there's a history made in Liberia. Where is this book? This book was launched today in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia to become an official use book in the curriculum. Even Ministry of Education folks were there. Liberty Hijack. Let me give you a little bit excerpts of that, and we will have a conversation, guys.
That enhances objectivity. That's what our children need to address the Liberia we need today. Is to give ourselves a backward step and say we have criticized so much. What can we do to change our past? We need to accept it, but we need to write about our past, how painful it may be. And let our children know that the country did not evolve the way it evolved. It's a land of liberty. But the liberty was exploited by a few. The hijacked is liberty.
As of today, the liberty is still being hijacked?
Precisely. Liberty for all. every village will have an opportunity. I grew up in San Quentin, where a logging company was making millions of dollars a year, but there was no public school, no private school. So we as Liberians must come back to ourselves. How do we solve our problems?
Okay.
We can't do it by exporting our problem to the internet.
That was a consequential one. We Liberians must come together to solve our problems. I will leave it there and we're going to come back here. So let's go to the first person to open your talking point. Koto Jala, you started off with voters registration. Why so key?
Thank you, Mr. So it is of concern because the trend I see people following, I kind of just want to speak about it because when it comes to your voice being heard and you being part of decision making is one of those that you can use by casting your vote. And what I see in people leaving their districts, going in other districts, or leaving your county, going in other county to vote. The harm to that is if you leave your district, if another candidate comes that is not favorable to you or to your plan towards your district, come into your district to be a representative or a senator, I don't know whether people know that is harmful. So be the voice of your district or your county to make decisions than to just be flapping here, there for one. It can even be, I don't know, $1,000 somebody giving you. That $1,000 is not enough to make a decision for your institution. And we continue to make the same mistakes over and over. And the money that you take to go and vote for somebody in another district might be eaten maybe in few days or a week. What become of that decision you have made just in a short period of time? So it's very important. Let people not sell their vote, but it's like selling your integrity, selling yourself to the effect that will come upon you tomorrow. Let's try. I don't know. People will say, okay, I don't have food to eat now. I don't have. We all have gone through that process, and I think if you be a little patient and struggle it now, wait for tomorrow, things will be better for you. If the bad decision is what you are making, to go and make the wrong decision and regret it, because if you say, if I should have known, it's a past one is there. So I'm really begging our people to stop making that decision again to go and sell your vote or sell your decision to somebody else, because that's what it means to me.
Okay, let's scramble over this here. Everybody can give their input, and because I intend to engage the audience, and so we'll try to keep it as succinct, as brief as possible. We can. Hey, Shep, good evening. Welcome. So, Liberal, let me just start with you. You listen to Koto. Is there anything that you want to chip in? Why is so? Is the importance of it?
Well, I think her concern are legitimate, and I think those of us who consider ourselves Liberians and lover of Liberia and its people, I think we need to be concerned because these are what she just talked about. Those are things that help to build institution, and the trucking of voters from one point to another. Those are things that weaken the institution. And it seemed to me, according to what I've been reading, also, it seemed to me that many Liberian politicians has no interest of advancing any kinds of institutional policy to help Liberia, except they want to help themselves. And so, if you, for me, the essence of being a politician, even though I'm not one of them, but for me, it seemed to me that for you to be a good politician and a good servant is to serve the people. They elect you to serve them. And one of the ways I believe to do that is to be honest and transparent, as Mr. Molly just correctly stated. Because without that, then the institution itself become hollow. There's no substance in the institution that perhaps you're trying to build, because you have already chipped away all of the pillows that's supposed to make the institution stronger. And so if you're going to use people with giving money still and trucking people from one district to another, if thereby diluting the true community members who perhaps want to vote the other way around to bring changes to their community. But the fact that you have trucked people from one place to another who has no interest in the developmental agenda of that district or of that community, but because they are in numbers, they will vote the way the numbers are supposed to go. And by doing so, once again, you're weakening the institution. You're not building it. And so I think her concerns are legitimate, and I think all of us should join her in expressing those concerns forcefully and unequivocally, and also to express them without any reservation whatsoever, Mr. Soul.
So, Marla Jones, let me bring you into this first as we all try to scramble against it. Well, there are principal facilitators who are carrying on this act, who taking voters from one place to another point because they want to satisfy their political credential to get to certain positions or get in certain places. Then where is the integrity? Where is the honesty? Where is the love of the country? If you to occupy a high-profile government position, you want to be a representative, you want to be a senator, that's the first branch of government. If they begin to start to engage, to do those sort of things, how then, what is the guarantee that when they even become elected, they will do the job they're supposed to do? So who should hold them accountable as well? Who should we blame? Because they are the facilitators. They are the one that are spearheading these things for the electors, for voters to do this thing because they want to get their gain on top. Then where is the honesty?
Well, I think, as the Liberal said, our analyst Cotto has got a legitimate concern. But here is my take. What are the rules from the Election Commission associated with this type of thing? I don't know. Secondly, this is a clear recipe for moral corruption in our pending election. And what Cotto just talked about, I want to strongly believe that it's not an event. This thing has been evolving from a long time. I think so. People being transporting people from one county to another to vote. But my question now is, if we select Montserrat County to have a certain code for voter for Montserrat County, and you taking me from my Gibby to come and I have a different code, I don't know how the people are compromising these things and getting the people through that line. I don't know. So it seems to be there are some complacency somewhere where we know this code is different from the other code, but this is nonpartisan, and we just push you through. Get what the Liberal said. Sometimes you have a patriotic sons of that county who really want to do much for that county, but because someone has imported fake voters and have negotiated with some of these supervisors and put them through, eventually they disenfranchise the real people who are supposed to be running their county. So it's a serious issue. But what is NEC policy regarding this kind of thing? First of all, is NEC aware? That's the first question. Is NEC aware of some of the lapses?
Okay. I intend we keep it very brief and open the lines, hoping by 9:15 everybody would wrap in and give our audience. And I'm going to be picking up a random points here so as to engage. And there are some people, there are so many ways people. This is what Madam Mo is saying. Those official trucking people should face the laws, taking advantage of the people. They make 12K to 15K a month, enriching themselves. Sir. So, but these people too is two-way street, and I'll bring it back to Kotot, and we want to welcome our man Elijah. Say he's watching. President Weah will still come back to Liberia for his tour. Yeah, that is done. Okay, Elijah, thank you so much. Elijah is joining us from Ganta City, Nima County this early morning. Elijah, thank you so much for being awake this time to have this sort of conversation. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, the man expressing his stuff. You can't say it. So now, from Madam Mo, but these people that they are talking to, they are all these people that are involved. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. They are grown-up men and women. They too, they are aware, they know it's wrong doing that. And they agree. I don't think they are being forced. So how they will also be considered as collaborators because they are committing a crime. They shouldn't go punished. They shouldn't just go like that too as well. So the question becomes, what can we do? What are we not doing to stop this here? Are we having enough outreach? Are we talking? Are we having an in-depth conversation? And to add to Koto's point is, are these citizens, they aware? If you are in Bon County or Bombing, or let's say Cape Mount, right, and they're taking you from Cape Mount to go and register within the Moserado belt, are you aware your decisions, what you are doing, you are disfranchising development-oriented project? Because it is your population too that ultimately the government going to determine to say, oh, this area around Swain area here, they have about 50, 60, 70,000. So the budget of last year or 2 years ago or development initiative, now the populations in that area has grown significantly. We need maybe elementary school. We need a high school now. We need this vocational stuff here. Are they aware by then having that? They also denied their various original counties development initiative, Koto. Are they aware of that? Or everything like say, okay, then we're not care. But then at the end of the day, we're not getting no development. But you help to decrease the populations of your county, your district, your client, your chiefdoms, and there's as a result of that, you don't have the required number, so you don't have paramount chief, you don't have city mayor.
Yeah, so true, Mr. And this is why we try to educate those of the people that are doing it now do not know the effect. Let them be aware that these are the effect. If you left your county vulnerable to someone who is not credible or acceptable or not qualified of being in our county to come and take over, it's dangerous. This is why we see most of these are unqualified or I can say people that are not like conscious minded to be in a house, because you go there to make decision on behalf of your district because of the love or the mind you get for your county or your district. But if you went there purposely to go and make money, then you don't care. I pay you and I go in my account in the county to make whatever money I made, I done with you because that's the arrangement we made. That's why they'll be telling you, the voters, that I don't care. I finish paying you for what I came here for. Then you're not going to hold them responsible because they are already paying you for going there. So I know what this actually do, because I remember the 2011 election. There were people that were trucked in counties just to go register for some senators and representatives. When it came to the second round, these people didn't have time again for them. So they could not go back to exercise their rights because they could not go back. The money have been done with, and you have your right to exercise, to vote for the coming president, and now you don't have that opportunity again because you have missed that opportunity of voting for the president that you want to be in power. So these are the side effect of those issues, because then it came that we even have to be looking for resources to see how these people could go back and exercise their franchise. And I'm saying those are the side, part of it.
All right, we got to make progress. Let's proceed, accelerate. So, Liberal, let's come to your playbook. Are you there?
I'm listening.
Okay, let's come to your playbook. What was your highlight? Let's take a profile.
Well, what I talked about, I don't intend it to be discussion right now, but I just say the only thing that I ask this government to help us is to try and just give us some information as to what is happening with the CIA stuff. That's about all that I want to say on that, because up to this point, and one of the interesting things when it comes to this, Carrasco usually when he comes to the United States, he sometimes will be posting 4 or 5 times a day. But just about 13 minutes ago, all he posted was something he have to do with his Ramadan, which we all pray, and we on the other side are in um, sympathy with our brothers and sisters of the Mandingo faith, the Muslim faith, who are going through some stuff to clean themselves, and we appreciate that, and I hope they will all pray for us as well. But Mr. So, I think it is very important that the government try to talk about this, even if you're not ready to give us all of the information. But do not use this and allow people to try to improvise and try to make up stories that perhaps are not true. Because not every Liberian have the ability to understand some of these things that are coming from fake analysts and what have you. So, because of that, the government should have sympathy on many of our brothers and sisters that do not have the ability to decipher what is quite correct or what is right and what is wrong and what have you, by coming up and giving the people of the Republic of Liberia, even if this is rumor, come out and say, there's no truth to this thing, and you move on. But to be
So,
silent and allow people to continue to give information that perhaps are not true, it is very dangerous for us as Liberians. And it's not showing a good faith on the part of this government as well. And I just want to leave it as that. I just want to leave it as that, and hope that the government will see reason to give us some information.
would there be any reason you think?
Well,
'Cause
there should
not just
definitely.
the government. Is it solely wholly on the burdens of the government or the other country to which there should be a
No, no,
or
it's not. The
be
burden is not
kid?
the burden is not on the United States, I believe, to come and
And
disabuse Liberia.
the reason I'm asking that question, Libert and Jones will come in because this is not this is not a state visit. This is sort of unusual.
Yeah, I
And when
agree.
people come in meeting the CIA, one guess could be like some sort of classified conversation going to be taken in. So then, in that, it's not a justification, but I'm not sure whether we're going to get any words from even the embassy in Liberia. If you're going to get anything from State Department or from whatever, that's going to be some sort of statement that really going to kind of like, I'm not sure whether we will ever know unless some sort of a whistleblower or somebody just leak some sort of information on that. The CIA,
Mr. So, to me concern, yes, I as a Liberian, I'm also concerned because my interest is at stake, to be honest with you. But as my president of the Republic of Liberia, until he is defeated in what so many months to come,
Until then, he's my president. But my concern that I have in this whole debacle, whether true or not, is this: how does he fit among his colleagues now? The leadership of the West African group. How, where does he sit? Is he, if what if he goes in there and they decide to talk about regional security and who's are the players and all that? Can they really trust him now? If this story is true, and if they've refused to come out to say something, can they
So,
really trust him and discuss
okay.
regional security with him being in the room? Those are the things that I have concern with. Not so much about the president. He can come in and say they have a meeting with me. That's fine, but he needs to come out and say something. Say
Says,
something.
Mr. Mally Jones, let me just bring you in here. The liberal is trying to tie in other countries' opinions or what they will be saying regarding about the president. But the president or the government could also argue what it's a blessing to meet with Uncle Sam to invite out. Are they trying to strengthen their security bilateral relationship? Are they trying to aid the government of Liberia on different sorts of intelligence, sharings of intelligence notes, and all of that? Assuming that is the case, then you're not going to have the government, or you're not going to have then government to open herself to us here. But let me just ask you: will we ever know, or we are just creating headache for ourselves? Will we ever know the outcome of that meeting, if there's one has
Oh,
been reported?
yeah, definitely we will get to know because you know that America is founded on a strong democratic tenets. So if they are having talk with an African president, the Western media would definitely expose it. The traditional media in Liberia may not have all the details, but I can assure you that will be exposed in the United States. So that no two way about that. But to add to the liberal concern, which of course should be the concern of the rest of us, uh, the CIA do not invite you to the dinner table to dine and wine. CIA do not invite you for investment discussion, or they want to open shop or mall in your country. No, they invite you on a serious security issue. That is a fact. But to also add to that, the moderator just made a very significant point about our surrounding neighbors. What happened in Mali, in Niger, it's like the Boko Haram thing. You know, these are things that worry America interests. Even America don't have interest in Liberia right now, but their citizens alone, they worry about these things because these people go after Americans, taking them as hostage, you know, for ransom and other things. But if you read this report, you get scary about what's going on in Liberia. This report alone is enough to even tell you that Liberia is a risky country for you to even travel there. But we are citizens. Despite the report, we still go to Liberia. But a Westerner will not read a report, they will have to think twice. I was just reading the report of North Korea 2019 and 2021. Almost similar thing. The extrajudicial killing, people missing, the judiciary being tampered with, a whole bunch of things. You see. And let us just retrogress a little bit. 1980, when Doe took over, and after his election, with the noise around it, he became friends to Romania. That was a concern for America. It was a serious concern for the America. That one. Two, when Doe came out to say, we will pay American debt, Americans saw it as a challenge to their authority. Who is the African president telling us he will pay our debt? So what we're seeing here is, I want to agree with the progressive from one angle. I think the Americans are beginning to build a preliminary case against His Excellency with the type of report, because the report is titled Credible Report.
Making at all.
Yes, making not all, but it's titled Credible Report. So, if I should surmise with all the preliminary they're putting together here, talking with this president, I don't know what they're talking about. I'm sure it's security oriented. And for any reason, the election go the other way around, and they say maybe the incumbent cheated. These are the foundation the people going to base on and begin to attack Joe Weah, and definitely he's going to be in trouble.
Okay, well, Amos George, good evening, welcome.
Bobby is sleeping or what?
I think Emma George is reading you.
Amos George is he's listening. George, good evening.
I know you get back good camera.
Man can't talk all. I have done so much.
Man can't talk.
Man can't talk.
Oh boy, every day like brother, so gonna.
I have done so much.
I said the liver is making me scared with his cow tail, man.
Don't mind that thing. That thing from Walmart. That's from nowhere. From Walmart. You even paying it yet? Paying for it yet?
That camera getting stuck. The counter is working.
Joyce, good evening, welcome. Let's go ahead. It's 9:12. Let me just put the number out. Let's have a conversation with our folks as well. Because Joyce, do you have any concerns or things considered?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Yes. I got some concerns. One is Mekanto or the second is
Bro, it's something else.
the alleged rumor. I mean, because it's on front page carrying that person where I was invited by the CIA. So, but the thing here is, what will be discussed? We may not know it because we don't know the level of information, classified information that they're going to be talking about. And I was seeing all these people that the president brought. If there's anything to be discussed with the president, some those people will not be in the room. They won't. They will go. They will give the seat and say only the president.
No, not you, Pajoy. Carry on. Then I'll better call us.
The minister, some people will not be in that room. They will go there. They will have to give them a seat, and they will take the president to a special room for briefing. And what they want to show him, they will just show it to him and say, "Hey, these are concerns. This is what's going on," and that's it. And they will tell him, "Hey, this is highly sensitive information. So when you're in this room, if it get out there, we know the source."
We know the source. And let's go to our. You done?
Yes. So these are things that I'm thinking about, because this is not a normal thing for government, for the CIA to do. Because remember, the CIA already wanted to like draft in 2 months, a month or so, 2 months he was in Liberia.
And that's the whole thing. And that was so.
If at all they had anything to discuss.
Was that the beginning of this meeting that we are seeing? All right, let's hear from our folks. Let's go to this number, 404 number. It's coming, I believe, from Atlanta, Georgia. Let me just put the other folks here, and then they can have their contribution here as well. Okay, let's keep it straight to the point. 404 number to 5974. Caller, good evening. Good. Can you be a little bit audible? Let me check here. What are my volume? Okay, go ahead. I'm okay, but you're coming very low. I'm not sure what
we can't hear the person.
We're not hearing you. Oh, hold on. Sorry, that's my fault. Sorry, that they told him, man, that he's the one infiltrated my sister, and they are the Russian. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, somebody driving? We're hearing you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I just wanted to contribute on the president's visit. My name is Aaron Poble. I'm calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay. We just a couple of days ago, right? Probably a week ago, if I'm not mistaken. I stand to be corrected. The American ambassador spoke about certain things going on in Liberia, and his biggest concern was we who sit in the diaspora and use platforms to get, create chaos in Liberia. And, I'm listening to the panel, I got respect for everybody on the show. Everybody bring a great deal of ideas to the show. But, people just making their own conclusion. The American ambassador would know if the president is in trouble with the CIA. You guys telling me that the ambassador in Liberia does not know that the CIA investigating the president? You guys, we live in a great country, the United States. How can we discuss such a thing on a big platform that people watch? We need to stop doing that, Mr. Soul. Please. We need to stop doing that. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, Aaron just said that. I'm not sure what I heard somebody said that the president being investigated.
No. These are some of your audience that perhaps just make up stories and will try to debunk them. And when they come out and make these kinds of allegations against any of us yet that are not true, nobody. I've been speaking on this, and I've never declared here tonight that the president is on an investigation, and nobody have said that. So the audience perhaps need to go and rewatch the show and then come back and make a comment.
Okay, all right. We're not gonna. I think he's making his own observation, and that's why I just put it out there. Let me go to the next person. But hey, players, I don't think anybody said that. People just giving view. We are all concerned. What is happening, and so, but and I put it right into context here. Who knows? Security issue. We're seeing. Guinea, Burkina Faso, the growth of these alleged terror groups, Russian, and Liberia, that Uncle Sam has a writer, and perhaps as the president, they could have a proper discussion with not just only other senior government official, but thank you. But let's go to this number here, 832 number 1441. Are you there, caller?
Yeah, hey, Mr. So.
Good evening, welcome.
How you doing?
Great.
I'm fine. Mr. So, a couple of things I want to first say, but I'll go straight to the topic you're discussing. There's three things I want to talk about. First, I called yesterday. I told you the president visited the CIA head office, and somebody tried to credit me saying, I don't know, Virginia, or I don't know if they told how long I've been living here, or somebody just came to America. But that's not the issue. I can tell you, you know Prince Dumber, eh? You know Prince Dumber? So,
Prince who?
Prince Dubman. He lives in Lobo.
Yeah, Prince Dubba.
Oh, Prince Dubba? Oh, okay.
Dubba.
Okay.
Yes. Ask Prince, say, the ambush like a common, so you know him in person. I can bet my life. The president is not in no trouble. This visit is an honor visit for the president. There's nothing that goes investigating him or he commit anything or anything. None of that. This is it's just a boost to the president. It was an invitation for him to visit the CIA head office. He's not in any, under no circumstance he's being investigated or statement was taken from him. And but like the sister like just said, people in Liberia, and she talked about what's his name, the representative was having issue today. What's the bond is that was one of the issues he had today because people accused him of talking people in his district, in District 10. He's not the only one. In District 14, people, the ABC was doing the same thing, and people try to resist and say, you don't live in our district and you're bringing people to register in our district. So that was some confusion this court was talking about. And the power again, you're talking about.
Second before I go to the next caller.
Yes, you're talking about you talk about the human rights report. The human rights report has got a lot of fraud in it. Because one of the things they talk about Alba was never chased. Alba was the one that was running to the border. Mr. So you can be honest. Was the government going after Alba workers in the middle of the night trying to go to the Australian border? They had to arrest him and brought him back to Monrovia and allow him to fly through Ralphie Airport. So how come that can be in that report? Say, oh, Alba never accused or will help Oscar to say, oh, his life was threatened. Well, okay. If you read the report, Alba is mentioned in that report. Can you know, your platform it should be credible, but you get a lot of gentlemen there. I don't know if it's based on hatred of the president, and we can do that. We're destroying Liberia when we try to bring hatred or the dislike of our individuals and just say ultimate stuff. This is no burger, nothing burger. The president is not in any way in any trouble. And
but Mr. So, can you hold the caller hold him responsible to name some of the stuff that we say here that perhaps it's bringing.
We'll do it one at a time. I mean, when he.
But no, sir, with all due respect, what you said based on the report, the stuff that you saw in that report, it could be a sign that the president maybe that's one of the reasons why they were talking to him. I listen to this. I monitor this show here religiously.
So
all your leave, and Mr. So is giving a final analysis. I still listen to him. So I monitor this. Which I like this question. So presentation when he talks about show, but you know, some of you come here with your personal opinion or based on hatred of the president, and you get ultimate opinion.
So okay, let's have a conversation here.
Another hit message.
He's a sedition. There's no question. I'm not going to.
We intend not to incite our own personal feelings or emotions, or we have to create detach their political affiliation. These are national issues. And so people talking here, and one good thing I didn't hear anybody saying here, oh, the president is being called. They can call for a sitting president from his or her country and say, come here to do an investigation. We just do not know. We see elections around. Elections are always a violence-related issue. Who knows? So there could be multiple conversations they're going to be having with national government on so many fronts.
Measure, it could be different reasons.
I have a question for the caller.
I don't think you can express that. I don't think we want to. But thank you so much. There are a lot of phone calls coming here. Let me just go to them. They will come to them. Okay, thank you so much. So let's go to 763 number 5443. Are you there, caller?
Yeah.
Christopher, you went on. I didn't hang you up, so don't say I hang you up. Yeah, go ahead. 763 number.
Mr. Good evening to you all. You know, I wanted to go to some specific issues, but I wanted, and let me help the caller who called from Atlanta. You see, when consumers become producers, then we have problems. It's sad that journalists who listen to Ambassador McCarthy, if I had an opportunity to do an exclusive with him one-on-one, I would drag him to raise. Because he said that Ambassador McCarthy said Liberians are in the diaspora, they creating problems, running around with fallacy. But the thing McCarthy needs to understand here is this. When Ambassador Cohen was in Butuo, making arrangements, the war was supposed to end right in Butuo. It was a group of Liberians here in the U.S. who petitioned the lawmakers, and the lawmakers told the government to stand down. To stand down. That the people were dying and that the war should continue. I don't know if he did his homework, and I don't know if some of these people who, because of party sentiment, I wonder, do they do their research when they talk about issues? to the other caller, it was not you who said, based upon the report, it was Mr. The other fellow, what his name? Marley, who said, looking at this, and as me as a human rights consultant, there are so many universal violations in that human rights report. When you look at the global human rights article, there are violations right there, and those things been happening long time, Mr. So we could, until you give information to people, people will speculate. I wish I had a time I can come on the platform. The last caller, you bring that guy who betting his life. Bring him who betting his life, so we can discuss issues, not based on fallacy, not based on passive sentiment, not based on hatred. Let's talk like
so much. All right, the line is loaded here. Let's go to the next person, please. Let's keep it brief as possible as we can. 646 number 0320. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. Where are you calling from, please?
My name is Kadala. I'm calling from New York.
Okay, welcome to the show. Let's hear from you.
All right. So, thank you.
We're having somebody is on. If you're not talking, please mute your phone. I just want to, hang other people out. Okay. Thank you so much. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah. All right. So, the only reason why I'm calling on this show because, I've been following a lot of talk show. For slavery was over so many years ago, and Liberia called itself an independent country. Yet still, even though we live in this country for the longest, we still believe that the white man is supposed to go and solve our problem. We still using the American influence to intimidate our progress. I don't know about Liberians that live here, but as for me, I know Uncle Sam only goes somewhere when there is an interest. So Liberians need to liberate their own mind, their own way of thinking. We need to stop going under the same umbrella of America. You live in the same America and you know day and night what goes on here. But a lot of Liberians, they in this country, they refuse to even educate and improve their own way of thinking. They still for the white man to go and fix their country for them, and then that's their chance to say we are independent. The thing the American embassy spoke about, the American embassy knows very well Liberia is a sovereign country, an independent country. We have right to do our own thing. America will only come when there is something very, very, very dangerous. However, for him to just be penetrating in Liberian politics like that because he realized Liberians are not a solid thinker. We need to start going under Uncle Sam's umbrella. Let us be able to solve our own issue with our own God-given brain, our own God-given talent. America, America, America. We all live here. If you don't go to work, will you get paid? You think America is going to go to Liberia and fix Liberia and build Liberia the way we want if they don't have interest there? We're fooling ourselves. The CIA go to Liberia, you think they're going there for what? There's interest. Everything America do around the world, there is an interest.
All right, thank you.
Nigeria need to jump out of that sleep. It's time for us to put our own God-given thinking together. We are smart people. Let us stop using the hatred and use love, use the brain, and develop our country. Forget about what America do.
Thank you so much. All right, let's
Thank
go
you.
to. Thank you so much for your contribution. 610 number 610-5118. Are you there?
Hey, good evening. Dr. Bada here.
Dr. Bada, good evening.
Western Pennsylvania. How are you?
Great. How are you, Da?
The gullibility of the Liberian society. It's a very challenging proposition, you know, Mr. So. Knowledge is power. When people lack it, when people are ill-informed, when people lack ethics, then it becomes a very challenging proposition for a nation state like Liberia to make progress. You know, journalism is at the lowest ebb in Liberia. Journalism does not exist without ethics. Ethics requires people who are trained, who have the experience, who have engaged in the field. And I think we are at a very critical time. If people think when ambassadors speak, they speak in a language that ordinary people cannot understand.
Right.
Have you had the opportunity to just be able to gauge the executive summary of the 2022 Human Rights Report? I mean, these are conversations that have taken place in all of social media all of the time. But the sad reality is, even social media itself, the media itself, the internet age, the creation of the internet by the American military complex has the good and the bad. How many of us, ordinary people, understand the good and the bad of the internet? How many understand misinformation, disinformation? How many understand the credibility of news sources, where they come from? Anybody thinking that Liberia is in a normal state have to be dreaming. You know, arbitrary killings, extrajudicial killings, inhumane treatment, human degradation, disappearances. These are nothing that we can characterize as being normal. And I think a lot of Liberians live in an ultra universe because they do not understand the power dynamics of geopolitics, global politics in the actual sense of the word. To be able to speak to some of these issues, it's going to require people who have the know-how to understand what is happening. The ordinary man doesn't understand the good and the bad of the internet. Whatever they see on social media is just what they believe. I mean, we live in a great country like the United States. You see how divisive this nation has become. You see how limited, how challenging, it's even difficult for people who have had an opportunity to go to school, whether they went to high school or they are college graduates, to understand the intricacies of what propaganda is and what realities are. So, you know, the Liberian question is something that we all can see and we know. Our hearts and our minds, people who are rational can understand. Liberia is not in a normal situation. Let's speak to that. Let's understand it. Let's call the spade a spade. I know, Mr. So, you won't leave from here, or you won't take your kids from here, want to take them to Liberia to live in such a situation as challenging as it is. And I mean, many of you on the panel will want to take your kids to take them to Liberia to live in a situation as it is. So we all need to realize that Liberia is the only patrimony that we have. It's the only one that brings us together. And if that is the true reality, we need to stick to the fight and leave our emotionality to realize that Liberia is not experiencing anything that is required of a normal society. To be able to stand up, determine in a determinative sense, working together to know that Liberia is the only common denominator that we have, that those suffering masses of our brothers and sisters who we call every given day professionals, who cannot afford a meal a day, to be able to have an opportunity to participate within the constitutional framework, which is guaranteed under the Constitution. You guys think we're going to have free, fair, general elections with everything that is happening in Liberia as we speak? That's a fallacy, guys. Let's be real.
Thank you
so
much.
It depends on all of us to pressure our leaders here, those who have the possibility and the capability, whether we are Americans or we are in exile, to make sure that we can bear pressure to bring about the change that is needed in Liberia.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, Christopher, after the two callers, we got to go back to the panels. I think we have taken enough calls.
Yeah.
Christopher, go ahead, and then go to Kat, I believe it's Kat. Is that what, Tom?
Mr. Sue, thank you very much, and to our analysts over there tonight, our brothers and sisters in the studio. Mr. Sue is president. We are the first president to ever visit the CIA or FBI headquarters. How about the Islamic militant and jihadists operating in Nigeria, Mali, Burkina Faso, in certain parts of North Africa? Why is America concerned about the jihadists, Islamic militants, Boko Haram? Why is America concerned with the way Vladimir Putin is going around? Donald Trump, they inciting people. We see polarization in politics in America, in Europe, and other parts of the world. And we are seeing it in Liberia as well. The lies, constant lies. The ambassador spoke about it. I'm just a little bit disappointed in the gentleman or the reverend that just left. He spoke foreign English. He used words. He contradicted himself. I call that intellectual masturbation. When you enjoy yourself talking things that you don't have reason to talking, but you enjoy yourself. When a man is masturbating, that's intellectual masturbation. That's what the reverend is like nothing. He spoke foreign English. I was moved. But then he started talking some things, acting like Henry Costa and other people. Language like he talk about extrajudicial killings without giving an example. Children are listening to us. Liberians are listening to us around the world. The ambassador said we must start lying. We must be honest. We must speak with clarity. We must not lie. And for him to come here and talk about extrajudicial killings, he said the government just killing people without giving factual, like evidence, empirical evidences to support his claims. No video of people killing people, government officials killing people, no audio, no picture, no nothing. Empirical evidences to back up your claim.
Okay.
It's so saddening. President,
right.
We are key here because every time America, when they have interest in somewhere, the CIA can call you, the FBI.
Christopher, in 30 seconds, let me pick up the last caller. So
Mr. Phil, just to conclude real quickly, I think the president is here for a serious visit. I think the president is here because America has interest in Liberia. We have been working together. Our both countries have been. We are here to strengthen our alliances over the years. And not just president, we have other countries around the world come here to visit FBI headquarters, CIA headquarters, just to strengthen alliances and to strengthen our military and security alliances. That's all.
Thank you so
Nothing
much.
else.
All right, let's go to Connecticut with this last caller for the day. 203 number 9037.
Yeah, thank you, brother. So this is Wilson Stepper calling. I was supposed to call. Let's get the program yesterday and today, and I keep hearing the same narrative from the same players. Like my brother said, the last caller and my own cousin Gerald Cummings. Liberia, just how they think that those days is about to fall in Liberia, that's how we think that Liberia is moving forward. They can stay in the la-la land and continue to believe that Liberia is not a normal place. The people that are there, they are normal. They can sit there and believe that Liberia is moving forward. They can pray that the intellectual class will take over that country. The people that are there, they are not intellectual. Liberia is moving forward. It's so despicable for somebody to come here and denigrate another group of people because his belief is not in power today, or the person that he want to be in power is not in power. So the other people that are in power, they are less of a human being or sub-citizen of a nation. That's exactly what that man, the second to the last caller, or exhibited just now. Speaking softly and saying that he's speaking intelligently. No, you are not. No, you are not. These are agents of, and these are, and I will say bluntly, is enemy of our country, enemy of our progress. I don't care how anybody want to say it. We spoke their own and we'll speak ours.
So,
we'll speak our own mind. And yes, sir.
Is it of his views and opinions expressed? Is that how to?
But there's my own. You see, that's it.
No, I'm asking you. I'm asking you. Are you saying he's an enemy? I said because of his view and opinions expressed.
Yeah, because he called people who support this government that they think that Liberia is a normal country, which means we will get a think that this country is normal. We are not normal in our mind. So let's be sarcastic. You can come to the disco and do that because you don't have somebody that you want to be there.
Here is the thing here. You are an analyst to this network.
No. I'm speaking in my own capacity right now.
No, you shouldn't be there. You shouldn't be there. UG Fagon there and don't add the president today. I'm not president. I can't make flower. Don't do that.
No, but seriously, let me be honest.
No, here is the thing here. Yeah, no, let's fix it. So we got to do things differently. And I understand. And the reason we ask you guys to give your side so that we would know why you support whichever, not to dictate to you, this is where you're supposed to go. But when you are an analyst, you have to be more or less undo your own personal feelings. And because the audience, the viewers who come, they can tell us, let them define all, but we shouldn't be the one to start defining them and begin to sanction people's voices or views and the coin. We can disagree with them, but I don't think you want to say you want to be sarcastic to your viewers. So
okay, I agree with you. I agree. I take that back, but let me lay the law on the talking here. Liberia is not at those days. This is not those days for Liberia. The president was invited to come and take a tour at the CIA headquarters. Remember, America is supporting a war. A fight against Russia. Remember that. Okay. Remember that the intelligence that came in West Africa that they got from Russia in Burkina Faso doing stuff. Remember, Liberia is one of the strongest allies to the United States in that region. Remember that. Remember, once upon a time, we hosted the Ominga Tower in Liberia.
Okay, so Keta, let me go back now. We are running out of time. You got to learn how to be coming on here, my man. Yeah, don't be going on the catching here all the time. But internet second wrap up, so I will go back to the guys.
So what I want to tell our people is the president is here in good faith. He's enjoying his stay here. He's been briefed a lot of intelligent giving a lot of intelligent information that will benefit Liberia and the United States of America. He's not here against his will. And he's not intimidated by anything that Liberian people were here when the president returned home. So all the people that are thinking that this president is here and they were arresting and he's in trouble and he has water, that's complete propaganda and misleading information for our people. And it's sad. We should stop it.
Okay, thank you so much. I don't agree with that the president is here to be arrested. I don't think so. That they can do to a sovereign nation. Okay, thank you so much. So guys, let's come back to it. Sometimes we just got to listen to the minds and views of the people. We can agree and disagree with them. And like a person said, oh, the moderator is confused. We don't sanction voices here. As long you're not causing somebody mind, you're not causing people. This is what is lacking in our community, in our society, in our political discourse. You only want to hear what suits you, what is good for you. You don't want to hear the other people say what is good and what is bad. We got to make this accommodations and have a discussion and sort out the one that is applicable to all. The professor is here. Good evening. Welcome. So this is a clear indication, folks, how polarized and divided our country. I think that would be a conversation itself, because politics. It reminds me about this. What a book here. It reminds me about this liberty hijack, the history of the loss and liberty, how it divides Liberia. The country is heavily divided. I'm not sure whoever becomes president, whether President Weah retains his job or whoever comes in, that's going to be a different thing. But let's do our last hardball before we go for this night. There's a divided house. Liberians in, out. You talk to people, everybody have their own views, opinions, interpretations. I'm wondering now how this apprehension will be put to a rest. To put it to sleep once and for all. I don't know what are going to happen. Will it happen? Who wants to take the lead?
Let me go. So good evening, everybody. Sorry, I think everybody got a better attire than me. That's what happens when you teach from home. You start becoming too comfortable. But I don't. The problem we are facing is when there is a lack of information, when there is a habitual lack of information in any society, gossips tend to fill their void. There is never an information void anywhere. You leave it empty, gossip will fill it up. It will never be empty for a long time. So what I'm struggling with, where do people get the understanding? Is it based on international laws or treaties that somehow the CIA can go to Liberia and force a president to come to their headquarters and then arrest their president in their country? Where do we get this mindset that somehow the president is going to be arrested? And why would such a rumor gain traction? But for the fact that he mentioned the press secretary to the president, the Ministry of Information, they've all been silent. And I spoke about this last night. I said, as they should be. Because if the president and the chairman, the co-chair of the Joint Security Commission of our country, this is the highest realm of our security apparatus. You have the Minister of Justice, the Minister of National Defense, and the president, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. If they are here visiting the CIA headquarters, that would be classified. So I would not expect the president to come and speak on this. I wouldn't even expect them to have acknowledged or denied it. But what is confusing me now is from last night when I said, I don't know if we can trust the source that the president was summoned. I don't even know if we can trust the source that the president is at Langley. For all I care, he's here in the United States, and like the website, the e-mansion said, they're here to meet with business leaders and to build a way of getting people to go and invest in Liberia. But when you start to hear seditions now, and I'm going to be very direct, like my brother Will Keto right now, it's almost like he's confirming the news story in Front Page Africa. But he wants to confirm some part of that and not confirm the rest without providing any information. That's what I'm struggling. I still say that if the president was invited to Langley, let's wait and see. But I'm confused again. My brother Keto said we should wait. When the president get back to Liberia, we're here. Cheba Keto. When was the last time we heard from the president on anything? You're going to Dubai, they didn't tell, or they go watch football game, they didn't tell or nothing. They come back, they didn't tell or nothing. So me, I just want my brother Keto to let us know whether we'll be hearing from the president as the president of the republic, or we'll hear from the pastor when he goes back to Fakekron and be preaching, or we'll hear from the rabbi when he releases a music video. I want to know when we're going to hear from him. But these are situations that get created, these unforced errors that get created by the government. I think people, I will continue to say this, people that are serving the president are not serving him well. By extension, they're not serving the republic well. So those people in charge of communication and communicating are not serving the president of the Republic of Liberia well. They are not serving the people of the Republic of Liberia well. The president needs to take some actions.
Take some actions. Let's do it quickly here.
Yeah, Mr. So, I just want to lastly is Mr. Kettle, and the latches has to go on him. How does he want us to believe what he's saying is true? He is here, I'm here, and we're supposed to be seeing an information from the minister. And by the matter of fact, the information minister is here with the president. Is it not his responsibility, even if he doesn't have to disclose what the president is here for, but at least a day-to-day play, like, okay, we are here, so place. You don't have to tell us the detail. But I mean, a daily activity that is going on, just let us know. But you expect people to be sitting here and don't know their president is here. Then you don't want them to say, oh, our president is here. We don't know what our president is here for. I mean, that's crazy. It doesn't make sense. Nobody said here that he's arrested. That I know of, or I heard of today. We've been here even since yesterday. We want to know because that's our president. He's here visiting. We want to know what's unfolding. We see presidents go to other countries. They are disclosing what is happening day by day, especially when the information minister is here. That has been the argument all along. The information minister is not given the opportunity to travel with the president. But here he is with the president.
Oh.
And there is no information coming out, to us to consume. What you want us to consume? The hearsay and they say is what playing up now. And we don't want to be part of the hearsay and they say. That's why we want the truth about what is happening.
So, what is happening here? And just to say, but I'm a free thinker. Let me just bring in the liberal here. Probably he's getting some new information as well. I'm not sure. I'm not expecting one. In a sense, this one is sort of a different type, more or less something that is well classified. And even if the minister of information to face the media today, why these conversations, I'm not sure how long it's going to take, why these conversations are going on. That's the last thing you even want to do. There are certain conferences, there are certain things, they has their own tone. And more or less, we're going to see a sort of diplomatic tone, even coming from Uncle Sam, the government of Liberia. With this one here, they got to be very, very, very careful. And I was just talking about, we see what is happening in Guinea, in Burkina Faso, and all of these places. So there must be a real cloud that is hanging that we have no idea. And so having the commander-in-chief, the minister of national defense, the minister of justice is almost like the attorney general of the United States of America, where there's anything takes charge to prosecute whoever violated laws of the land. We got to be very careful. There's going to be a diplomatic language that we will not understand for the rest. However, probably, depending how some sort of brushing going to be looking over here. The liberal, should we really worry about this, or let it just play out by itself?
So, Mr. So, I've been quiet since the last quarter, and I responded to that caller that came up with some information that was not true. However, Mr. So, what I suspect out of this CIA stuff, I think this administration got himself caught in some sort of a bad position. And as usual, just from the few callers already, who I believe are sedition, as usual, I think what is happening, I'm not in their chat room, but perhaps there's a news, some sort of information circling around sedition now, that they have now decided to let loose sedition that can speak and try to denigrate or try to downplay it or even try to outright insult people who want to discuss this. Yesterday, when we started this discussion, I mean, even on the social media, there was not much information whatsoever about this. And today, people are now coming out firing for sedition and now firing. So most likely, I think I'm just speculating at this point, but most likely the people have decided the hierarchy of CDC have decided to let loose those sedition and muddy the water. So perhaps to shield themselves from being transparent about this. However, what they don't realize, your Carter, your Tabasi, your the other gentlemen that call and calling names and so what have you. This is what I think they need to understand. It is not about us trying to, or me, I won't say us, but me trying to say something bad about the president. Far from it. My concern, I keep expressing that, the lack of information, credible information, transparencies from this government, not only doing bad for us, but as a president, if he goes and visits CIA headquarters and this rumor stays out there, if he leaves from here to go to back home and there's some sort of a regional security meeting, national or regional security meeting, what you think the other presidents would be thinking? What exactly you think they'll be free to talk to this president or talk about regional security when this president is president, who has been visiting CIA, and they're gonna come out here instead of this. Look, this is not true or what have you. They're gonna come and try to call names. So I think CDC, I think they have themselves colored again. They're getting ready to put their foot in their mouth. These tiny sedition, they will come out and start degrading people, and we're not ready for that. They're going to, when they do these kinds of stuff, they bring the liberal out of me, and I let them know that they're not going to intimidate anybody. They're not going to intimidate anybody, and they're not going to make people scared. We're talking about our country. This is our country. This is not CDC Republic. This is a Republic of Liberia. So the Carter, the Tobasi, and the other people don't think you're going to intimidate this liberal. It's not going to work.
So, Mally Jones.
Yeah.
Mally Jones, we are getting ready to go. This guy, I think we need to call him out now. Is he a real liberal? Who liberal do not sanction people's voices? This liberal is so little thing trickles in and he just go off the grill like that. I don't understand whether he's a real liberal. It's on the liberals in I don't know. I don't get it because it seems like he doesn't want other people.
It's called total liberal. Let's put it that way.
Okay, now I know the kind of liberal you are. Okay, Mally, the conversations, it will continue to escalate. But again, I'm saying more or less this one going to just continue a diplomatic language tone, and we will not know unless, and even if the president were to come out, if GOL were to come out, if Ledger Wool Rennie were to come out, that's the bad thing, because if you are not noted of doing something, if you do it, and even if it is the right one, the apprehension people will still be there. I don't care what you do, I don't care how you explain it. So I'm wondering here, should GOL and Uncle Sang come up with a joint communications that will put this issue to a rest? Yes, sort of it's like a piece of cloth between the scissors right now.
Well, I think we need to keep the liberal where he is and believe in his philosophy that he believes in.
Which is Baroque.
And living as such as he moves with his liberalism. But what I see is that it has become increasingly pugnacious on the part of Liberian politicians involving this particular issue. But I think from my take, the president's visit in the United States coincide with this human rights report, www.statedepartment.gov, that report that 2022. I just want to let the caller to know that their platform did not cook this report. This report is not a speculation. The State Department stand by this report. And the Information Ministry, as well as the Ministry of Justice, have not come up with a rebuttal to this report. A caller said people are talking about arbitrary killing, whether they have video, this and that. This report, I'm going by this report to do my analysis. I'm not going by this report to indict His Excellency President George Weah. And my next suggestion here is that I think it would be ridiculous. We find ourselves submerged into speculation about His Excellency's visit to the United States. This meeting is still in progress. There are two ways information comes from the United States. A visiting head of state will meet the United States president. They will meet in caucus. They will come to the podium. They will address the press. The other visit is strange. It's a wing of the United States engaging our government.
It's not a state visit.
It's not a state visit. So I cannot speculate why the meeting is still in progress. So we will wait. When this meeting comes to a successful and logical conclusion, I'm very sure we have a mature and proactive information minister who will make a proclamation about the decision of this meeting. I yield.
Okay. All right. Emma Joyce.
Yes.
And then we're going to be, from there, we're going to be going our closing round. It's after 10.
But I just want to add to this thing here. It's not normal for us. I think maybe, I don't know much history, but I can't remember when last a Liberian president was invited directly by the CIA. I can't remember that. And there's a whole lot going on around the world. For instance, I don't have to look out what is the CIA function outside the CIA function outside the United States. They evaluate, disseminate political information, economic, political, military issues. That is their function. They used to have this subversive going on, but they had slowed down that policy. So if our president Kamala was invited by them and according to sources, we not know everything because we don't know what they're going to discuss with the president. And even sometimes the Minister of Information, if the information is so sensitive, maybe they'll not call the president in a certain room and lead other people outside and go there to discuss with him and come out. And the president will not discuss with anybody what was discussed in there. Because it's maybe highly classified. So we don't know. But the only thing that some are saying, this government to play money quarterback. If the president was invited, put it out there that the president was invited to go to the CIA headquarters. Period. But when you assess that you leave that room, that vacuum has been great, then we got to come down to start trying to fill that vacuum. We just run on the side. Be ahead of the game. The person was invited by the CIA to discuss an issue. Finish. If the meeting over, issue your press release. That's it. Nobody would demand or to say they want to hear what the president or the CIA discussed with. But no, that is other outreach. It's government to government. So, but because they are not doing these things, this is what happened. And one of your callers says something that Alvatoba was not arrested. The police took him. He was trying. The police took him, came to Monroe to leave the airport. But oh man, once you see somebody against their will, no legal authority, no paper that is to say this person will be arrested, and the law enforcement go and grab that person and set them down, you have detained that person. If Alvatoba was crossing the bridge and the border was closed, all the police needed to immigrants say, hey, you cannot cross. Find a hotel, go and sleep. But when you take it to a headquarters of a police depot or immigration depot, you keep him there for 6-7 hours. Definitely you are arrested, you are detained, and you have no paper to do that. So when you see in the report, the man mentioned after that he was arrested, that is an arrest because there was no legal paper issue for him. You didn't charge him. So why you hire police depot or immigration for all the hours. So they have to
Okay.
understand. You see, that's the funny thing. When the U.S. ambassador said that the period of 1 month information that have been coming out of the U.S. is some had threatened, situation all took and ran with it. Oh yes. Now the State Department issue a human rights record Liberia, they are questioning it. Because
Okay,
now
gentlemen.
it's not in the
who will-
interest now. So now they're questioning the authenticity of that report now. You talk about if they say extra killing like Liberia, we just saw someone with a great extra daughter was murdered. We don't know who killed her. They mentioned auditors. We don't know who killed them. The list going on. So how will you come to say, hey, we don't see videotape? Come on. Every killing that goes or that takes place in the country, you have to see a videotape before you can believe it.
All right,
But again,
folks.
this is where we find
Let's.
ourselves. We will continue
Okay.
to have this conversation.
All right. Tomorrow is Thursday, so we off tomorrow, right? We're gonna be getting. We're gonna be getting.
Unless you're willing to pay me tomorrow, I'm not coming to work.
No good school tomorrow.
Yeah, you
Some
remind
people
me
say
of-
what?
Tomorrow,
I
you
said, unless Mr. So, I said, unless Mr. So is willing to pay me tomorrow, I'm not coming to work.
No class.
Well, you heard the
Yes,
professor say
no
tomorrow,
problem.
no good school.
When you are in Liberia, you can open your mouth.
Okay.
So stay right there.
Oh my God.
Say we'll take what
Okay,
tomorrow.
guys, we're
Stay
gonna be
right there.
giving
You're
our
in
closing
Liberia.
remarks,
Call
but
you. You didn't
this
want to go.
is
You didn't
what
want to conduct our program like Liberia. Stay right there.
this is what LPR is reporting this evening. A motor accident in Liberia, and
Yeah,
this is one of the things the Liberal Progressive been talking about. According to our guys, 9 reportedly killed. Fatal motor accident along Morovia to Rawafi Highway. According to the correspondent, a police officer and a student of the African Dream Academy and 7 other persons. Hopefully, we're going to be getting the details. This happens Rawafi Highway. I think that's one of the places the Liberal been crying from time to time as death trap. The Liberal.
Yeah, Mr. So it's very sad, and but these are things that when we try to open our mouths,
And the executive mansion, the president issued a statement. President, we are shocked and saddened over a tragic motor accident. According to a statement from Washington, D.C., of the students and others killed in motor accidents on the Ravos International. Major outlet, gateway, I would say one of the gateways to the country economy. Go ahead quickly. And that would be
no, I'm just saying that these are things that I was saying the other day about those who are responsible, that's supposed to carry out the policy of the president, and they have failed him and failed us as well, because this is not necessary. The road itself is about 22.5 feet wide. And most of your car you drive, weight of that car is not anything more than 7 feet. Okay? So if you're going to have that kinds of length between, there's not enough room for people to stay on the side, and then you have to have a room between the 2 cars. It is, like I said, God lives in Liberia. Because if God does not live, if God was in Monrovia, you will have many of these things every day. Mr. So right now, you were there before, but right now it's terrible, bad.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll go in next with the closing remarks for us who's prepared to sign off tonight.
Thank you, Mr. So let me give my closing. I was just looking in my family chat room. I just noticed that one of my nieces,
Involved
was involved in that accident, but fortunately she survived the incident, and she's home, and they are monitoring her. I would have been sitting here and be like in a side mood with those the rest of the people that their family are dead in this incident. Okay. And it's a side thing, and this is what we continue to talk about, because if things are done wrongly, we all get affected. I can't sit there now and say because my niece is safe, then the rest of the people, I don't care about them who die in the process. It would have been me too in a sad moment, but I want to extend my sympathy, to those that their family members, were lost in this accident. And closing, I stay calling on our people to go and register because that's where you exercise your right. That's the trump card you have to take the person off that you don't like or to keep them in. So if you show that you are having the best of it, just go and get a card to maintain Joshua. If you are not, like me, who is unsatisfied with the leadership of Joshua, please go and get your voter registration card that you'll be able to make decision on voting here in or out. And we have to do that. And also, don't leave your district to go to other district to go and exercise your right. You might be living a vacuum in that might not help you in the future. So I want to say thank you guys so much for this evening, and that's all for me. And Loma Gitie, Mama Ovazo. That's how it is.
Hassan, everyone this Iran response. So I say, I see you, and that's a good thing, which is good. All right, thank you so much, Katot. Marla Jones.
Yes, sir.
What are we going with, and what should we anticipate Friday? Comes Friday.
Well,
new development.
Welcome Friday. Probably I'm still concerned about the issue of education and the agriculture. Probably would delve into that at a later time. But what rather I want to bring to our attention tonight is like I see Liberia to be like this Coca-Cola thing, A lot of things happen in our country, and the news will just rise up like heaven is coming down, and later on things just disappear. Look at what happened to the lawyer Gura Mususka Toro. That thing just rise up, begin noise all over the place. That thing has just died down. It seems to be it has come to a complete end. And it's not only that issue. So many sensitive issues happen in Liberia. We just dance around it. When you look, it just cool down. It happened with His Excellency George Weah when he went on his almost 47-day vacation. The whole city was on fire. It almost like when George Weah come to the airport, he'll be grabbed and locked up. When George Weah got in town, the rising welcome alone legitimized his reason for leaving Liberia. That whole thing just went down. You see, when Harold Greene death came about, it was a big thing in Liberia. So I think we need to go away from the tendency. Let's address issue to a logical conclusion. Today, most of the people that are killing people in Liberia, the murderers are on the run to kill another day. So the people will do the investigation. But the logical conclusion here is that a murderer should be caught and put behind bar so that he will not be able to kill another person again. And it's not only killing, but too many sensitive things come in Liberia. Even the issue of George Weah going, the CIA calling him this and that. By the time he returned, they made one or two announcements. Everybody finished forgetting again. We move again to different operation. So this is something I see.
It's a pattern.
Yeah, it's a pattern in our society growing gradually. So probably we can look at it, but it worries me a lot where we just touch on things. So at times, maybe President Weah will just sit and say, oh, I know my people. They will make noise with this thing here. By the time I get there,
all right,
move to a different thing again.
Thank you so much. But I think we also have a shared responsibility. The microphone needs to go beyond the borderline to follow through with these things too. And when you go there, they do not talk to you, then you need to report it. But like you said, is this Coca-Cola thing? But when you talk about Coca-Cola thing, you want to be drinking plenty of things. So, I want no trouble.
I don't want Sister get into the era bake you.
Are you the one that you the one I hear from? Okay. Mr. Pa Josh.
Yeah, look, it's not that everything just go down. Like some of us continue to speak on this issue. Like I always say, I'm still waiting for the government to tell about I came to the country. And Mali was saying, yeah, no, the Liberian, they studied the people. They said 2 weeks. Anything that happened in Liberia is 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, this team is gone. Finished. That they know that they say it. They say they put made enough for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, it finished. It died down. And I'm still talking. I'm waiting here for the government to tell us where the arms came from and who are the people that brought in the arm into the country.
Talking about
the
I don't
election, I am very concerned.
LPR is too big for that because
today
some
again,
all this
since the nephew name was mentioned, Jefferson Coach will get called by John Oro. They say he took a whole lot of people there to go register them. I just said they say your nephew, Jefferson Coach. They say
that nephew, the uncle problem. Where do you go to people?
Okay. All right, so
Coachy, just one more again or there. They say a country called by he carry men attacking. They're trucking business, and I think the election commission has a role to play. This is why I said the censors are into the election because the districts are not divided. We don't know how many people in those districts. So you got people allegedly just going and registering people in every district. The trucking people there, they just registering. How would this election be fair? This is why I always say election is not rigged on the day of the election. It is rigged year before the election. And the signs that I see on the wall in Liberia, it's going to be some issue in Liberia, very serious issue. If the election commission
please
does not
raise
handle
your sound.
this thing properly.
Please erase your sounds. We'll beg you.
No, you see that what I tell you, Mr. So you can't say erase the sound when you see the thing that will create a problem. Say erase it. It's there. You gotta call it.
You ever heard from your mate janitor? Say
why
he
you
left?
can call it and says for you. So I got something for sale because I know
they're talking or showing her registration card.
Let's show registration card.
To that issue, you saw janitor registration card.
I got something for sale.
It's a clear evidence that everything has gone wrong.
Okay, sister, let's hear from you.
Sister, I got something for sale.
I don't want to buy anything selling. I trouble something.
I got a VP position for 10.
What kind of position am I selling again? Anyway, mention to all, but yeah, it's let me come on a big joy. Let's do my plan minute. But on a more somber note, we are just as grieved and for that tragic accident that happened in Liberia. But I'm reminded of what usually happens in the United States whenever there is gun violence. And the Republican talking point is our thoughts and prayers are with people, but we take no actions to mitigate the harm and make sure that it doesn't reoccur. Accidents happen in every part of the world. There are going to be careless drivers everywhere in the world that are going to sadly cause accidents. But we have to find a way to minimize. When I say we, I mean our government, all of us have to find a way to minimize these occurrences. I read in the president's speech released that a student and a police officer might have been amongst the victims. And I imagine a police officer makes very little money. It's not just George Weah, it's been every time. And a student lives on very poor means. So I'm going to organize something to see if we can be able to raise some money, maybe outside of this platform, to reach out to those families and try to empathize. I imagine that police officers actually returning home from service or going to work on behalf of the Liberian people. And sometimes certain things got to be way beyond politics. And so I just want to put that out there. Now, having said that, I think Mr. Mali Jones and I going to work on a show just about education to talk about, you've been highlighting that, so we need to think about that. I want to mainly look at what is in the public space. I don't want to do no they say. What's in the public space? The president of the Republic of Liberia was able to issue statements. One, about this tragic accident. Another one about the health worker symposium that he addressed virtually from all over the country. So the president has the ability and the capacity to address the nation if he could address the health worker symposium taking place at the ministerial complex and also do a press release. So for me, I'm just concerned that those two things, they are important, but there is a third thing that is more important that hampers on the security of the state, and the president is being mute about it. That ought to suggest to me that there are a lot of serious classified discussion going on, and the president has to tiptoe around it. Having said that, on the e-mansion website, the president stated that it is stated that the president is here to meet with investors. It is an economic trip. So anything coming from anywhere that says the president is here because of bilateral agreement to strengthen our military ties falls flat on his face because the e-mansion did not say that. I'm going to go by e-mansion. And oh, by the way, whenever military ties discussion are being discussed, most time it is discussed at the Department of Defense. And when there are other issues that have to do with diplomacy and Russia is getting stronger in Africa again, it goes through the State Department. Even when we were fighting, when the United States were fighting Al-Qaeda in Iraq and in Afghanistan, you hardly ever had these leaders come to go to the CIA. They went to the State Department or they went to the Department of Defense, even if you're fighting jihadist militants. So this whole whatever thing these people got in their chat room they're running around with, they seem to suggest that some of us don't understand how things work. The CIA is not where you go to strengthen your military ties. There is a Department of Defense that does that. The CIA is not where you go to look at the actions and how you thwart jihadist militants and how to deal with that. The State Department and the FBI is where you deal with that. And the last piece I want to tell people is that it's sometimes just simple research. Just go to FBI website, so the FBI.gov, and just go to frequently asked questions. There's one of them that says, how does the FBI differ from the CIA? And the biggest part of that is that the CIA, by statute, is not allowed to operate within the United States. They can recruit in the US, but they're not allowed to function inwardly by statute. The CIA, by the way, cannot investigate or cannot spy on US citizens, US corporations, and in some cases, even a permanent residence. That is by statute. That is law. It's not somebody guessing stuff here. So if e-mansion is telling us that the president came here on an economic visit, I will hope to see the fruit of that economic visit when he gets back. I hope to be talking economy. And I don't know which corporation they're going to that's so top secret that they can't address the press from there, because if they came on an economic trip to get investors, they should not be so top secret. You can address the health workers. You should also be able to address the brand people on an economic trip.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much and have a pleasant midweek. Your commitment to the library is so amazing. Thank you so much, guys. Have a pleasant evening. And to all of our viewers, listeners across the globe, we say thank you so much here. Let's see here. I mean, say, where are the opposition leaders? Why are they not talking about voter registration? Tell me about it. They're not talking about it. They're not saying anything. They're not saying. They're waiting to go to Supreme Court. Guys, thank you so much. All right. Okay, Mr. Cantor, let's get some point sampling view here. I think the officer, Bronto, yeah, that picture there is disturbing. It's disturbing. This is what my Jubu Clawedi is saying. Let's joy, we are returning home, then we can talk about election. Okay, we gotta respect people's view. We haven't learned from the 14 years of civil war. Okay, well, thank you so much. Oh yeah, we have different issues every day. We even know in a twinkle of an eye. By the time we get from here, we're gonna be having a different stuff. Well, guys, we want to thank you so much for your commitment. For those of you that share with us yet, again, this is all about Liberia. And somebody post something here. I say, oh, we like to respect people's views. We can't sanction people's view, not because someone do not agree with me, and then whatever they say, I just throw it out. I think that is unfair. We should give everybody the opportunity to speak their mind, because when you it is dangerous when somebody, you drive somebody, you refuse to listen to somebody, say, okay, you will see. I can interpret it in different forms and shape. The connotation of when you stop people from talking, when you get things stuck in their mind and they can't get it out, sometimes the outburst, the repercussion is deadly. So for people, when people call here, we don't call. That's our own tradition. I don't care if you don't even like it. Maybe for that few minutes, just don't play mind to it. Because we need to know what is going on as well to these people. All of us, things that we say, how we go about doing them. So we have to exercise patience. We have to exercise tolerance. Probably by then saying what they are saying and by us engaging them, that could be a sort of immediate intervention to change the narrative. But when we just hear, as soon as they say the first 2, 3, 4 words, you call the man up. That man or this person, that man or that person, then we are not having a conversation. If that's the case, then no need of us wasting our time. But we need to go into people's minds much deeper to understand who they are and how they are going about to do these things. Under what conditions? What are they taking into consideration? Sometimes you can bring people down to guilt based on your interactions and how you can convince them. We don't want people to leave and carry half news, not even have an inch of a news, because they just heard a little tiny portion of it and they didn't hear you concluding your statement, your comments, and say, oh, this is what Mami Mo said, when we didn't even give her a chance to end her statement. It's almost like a writing. Some people mean idea from the beginning, some people they throw it in the middle, and other people they conclude it. So when you read, you have to read and conclude what the person, the writer is saying, in order to get the main idea, what the whole thing is all about. But when we go like this, we want to pick what we think that suit or something that I don't like, then it's just unfair. So just bear with us. Yeah, other places, other people will say, oh, y'all don't let a man talk. Oh, you call that person. Oh, this person is so. Well, when person is taking much longer time, then we want to call you to attention so that we will respect other people's time as well. Because if we give you 10, 15, 20 minutes, you're talking, and then another person started to talk, and then we say, oh, you get 1 minute, then that is just unfair. But we do not insult. It's about the country. So when we're talking about the country, we gotta be patient. And not just talking about somebody going put in that vote, say, oh, I want a man, I want a woman, I want that your own business. Family can, but we are talking about a nation. We are talking about a country where the leader wants to go into this building. We are talking about a country where about 100 and some more persons will go to be making decisions in our behalf. We are talking about a country where when a person goes into this building, they will end up appointing a chief justice and all of those people to decide critical issues about our country, the court system. So when we come to this conversation, when people say they are supporting party A, party B, we must listen to them, what they have to say. And then after they shall have concluded, we can also make our case. That's how we do it here, and that's how we intend to do it. Until then, folks, have a pleasant evening. Thank you so much for your commitment. Thank you so much for always being here. Please don't hesitate to send us your comments, your tweet, your suggestion as to how we can improve and what you think we can do. And our Koto is here, but if you out there, a lady, What are you for, a party or not? Or you are independent, or you want to be like a free thinker like myself, and you want to be part of what we are doing here. You don't need, it doesn't need any form. You don't need to take you don't need to go through background check. We just have a conversation. So if you have the time, you don't have to give full time like we are doing. If you want to contribute once a week, this and that, come on, let us know and we'll bring you on. It's not about us, it's about the country. Do not mind what people will say, oh, they want that this person, that one here. No, you take charge of your own decisions. I always say that. Do not allow people to define you. That's the worst thing you want to do. When people define you, it is a distraction to everything you want to do. Don't give people the opportunity to define you. You can better define yourself. Thank you so much. Have a pleasant evening.
Je suis à table. Moi, ça y est, bon. Moi,
and before that, as you know, the race is on. Madam Marie Johnson is contesting for Queenable District, Statutory District in Grand Jita County, Republic of Liberia, originally to residents of Maryland, Baltimore area. She will be hosting a major fund to raise out our understanding Saturday, March the 25th. This is the address. Let me see here. Let me move this. Let me move this here, and then I think I will be able to get it. What am I doing here? Let me move this here. Okay, 1806 Belmont Ave, Windsor Mill, Maryland, right here in the USA. And the team going to be here, the support team based in the USA, they're going to be here, and I'm going to be having a conversation with them this Saturday, Friday evening. So join us. We're going to talk some community issue. And this guy here, the call hint is on Freedom Watch. Mohammed Kamara is a Crown Stopper guy. He's going to be my guest this Saturday right here on the Liberia Public Radio. He's doing an extraordinary job on air almost 3 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock, 12 Liberia time, local time, to almost 4 o'clock. And people call in live calling, and he's on the other end calling the police, and police are making interventions. That is extraordinary work. I've seen where the police has gone rescue missions, and there's some really, really good thing. You turn it to him. It's on Freedom Watch. I try by this time he's on right now. They call Kapao. They call him the Kapao guy, Crown Stopper. He's gonna be my guest on Saturday. How he came with this here. Have a pleasant evening, and we will see you. Bye bye.
What's